Bernstein again. Big opening. Pass 5. Pass 10. Verbal command. And he goes all the way to the 15-yard line. 17 yards of the terror.
Welcome back to the Believe in Badgers podcast on the Believe Podcast Network, presented by betonline.ag. Once again, I'm Matt Perkins, joined, as always, by Badger legend, the Hebrew Hammer himself, Matt Bernstein. Bernie, how are we doing today?
Man, we're good. I don't want to show anyone my arms because there's someone else here who's got way bigger arms than me. Sorry, Noe, it's definitely not you. But man, we got a special one today. I'm super excited. We have like I'm a running back, one of my favorite running backs. I think this is like a Badgers helping Badgers type of deal. These guys are doing something really special, bringing golf to the masses. I love it. I'm so excited. We have Noe Vital, Melvin Gordon III. Guys, thank you for being here. Matt Perkins and I are literally like, I'm shaking.
That's lit. Thank you guys. Thank you for having us.
I appreciate that, my friend. I appreciate that.
And we appreciate y'all taking the time, man. We're grateful for sure.
Thank you. What all right, Matt, I'll kick it back to you for a second. I'm ready to dive right in.
I don't think we need a lead blocker here right now, though. I think we can just get right in on it. We're here to talk about vibes. We're here to talk about Badgers. We are sort of kicking off here a collaboration tonight with Vibez, which we are super pumped about. We're going to be talking to every single guy in Vibez over the next couple weeks. We are also working on a documentary project together that I think is going to be really excellent to talk about the mission of Vibez. And so don't worry, guys. We're going to get into all the good Badger stuff that you want here a little bit later, but we are here to talk Vibez, and we are to talk Vibez first and foremost. So that is what we are going to do. Before we get into anything, I want to remind you guys that we are presented by betonline.ag, where they remain your number one source for all of your online sports wagering needs. You name it, they've got it over there at BetOnline. NBA playoffs in full swing, as are the NHL playoffs. Always some good UFC, boxing, baseball. I mean, casino games, card games. It's all over there at betonline.ag. So head on over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit with our promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts. So let's go back. Let's just start with, let's say I had never heard of Vibez Golf Club before, Melvin. If someone comes up to you on the street, and they ask you, what the heck is Vibez? I see your hat. It says Vibez Golf Club. What is Vibez Golf Club?
Vibez Golf Club, I feel like, to me, it's just a way it's a way to change the world, man, and make golf, a thing that's fit for everybody. Honestly, we can probably gonna get into the detail of what we think of golf and how it is and how we feel like it's a status sport. But to us, it's to me, it's a way that people can look at us and be like, you know what, I could be myself. You know what I mean? I could be myself. I could just be who I am. That's vibes. You know what I'm saying? You bring your own vibe. And the thing is, like, it's a crazy question to me because everybody vibe is different. You know what I'm saying? So, it's be like, I look at your hat, what is vibes? Well, vibes could be something completely different for me and you. You know what I mean? As far as being on the field, you could be out there with a country boy with a cowboy hat on, listening to the country music. That's his vibe. You feel me? Like, and then my vibe, I like the Calvin Harris. I like whatever. So that's my vibe. Bring that. But we obviously got ways to change the game, and we could sit there and go through a whole spiel with them of what we trying to do to change the world as far as with golf. But I would just tell them, like, golf is vibes is exactly what it said. And Vibez Golf Club is your vibe and what you bring to the game of golf.
I love that. First off, I'm a Calvin Harris radio listener all day at work. All day. It just it gets you going and it's positive. Like, I just like the beats. No way. I'd love to hear your answer.
Well, I mean, very similar to, Mel captured the essence of it, right? Vibez Golf Club is basically, it's a movement for us to tell people and show people, most importantly, that look like us, that grew up in similar communities as we did, similar upbringings, just to show them that golf is an option for them, right? I think I think one of the things that's missed in the world of golf, and I mean, here we are in 2023, and one of the hottest topics is, why isn't golf diverse? Well, I mean, the answer is simple. Like, we just haven't had this game marketed to us. Like, I grew up inner city Milwaukee and was never exposed to golf until I graduated and ended up in San Diego. And it's just crazy because when I look back at it, it's like golf can be an avenue just like football. Football, like soccer, like baseball, any of these other sports could be an avenue to, you know, give kids like us, inner city kids, a path, you know, to a better future. And I think that golf is just missed. For some reason, it's just never an option for us. And it goes beyond that, right? It's really deep. It's something that I repeat to our team. It's like, our goal is to make golf a mental option for kids like us. Like, none of us grew up ever considering it, like waking up on a weekend, like, I'm going to go golf. It wasn't even an option, right? So our focus is, what can we do? What are the different avenues? What are the connections that we have that we can leverage to go market this game for someone like us, so that someone sees it and says, you know what? I'd like to try golf. And that's it. That's our goal. Like, we want someone to go from golf isn't for me to I can golf if I want to. That's our focus.
Yeah, no, I want to ask both of you guys, like, what was your, like, I'll just go with Noah first. Like, what was your first interaction with the game of golf?
I guess my first real interaction with golf was probably when I was still in college. A buddy of mine, we'd gone to like a local course to play, and I'll never forget though, and it's a similar story to a lot of people. It was just like, it was my first time going out there, so my first question was like, so like, what do I need to bring? And it's funny because everyone's first answer is always like, oh, just throw on a polo, you know, throw some khakis on, and then, you know, if you got golf shoes or something that's just comfortable, right? And so we went out there, and immediately, like, I just felt out of place. I'm like, well, this isn't me. I don't wear this like normally. Like, this is kind of weird. And that was my first exposure to the game. And then you fast forward, I end up out here in San Diego, and this is when I really got the taste of what real golf was. And the reason I wanted to play golf when I got to San Diego was I had this misconception of only successful people golf. Like, if you golf, that means you've made it. And so that's why I wanted to golf. And I started playing, getting into the game, and it doesn't take long once you're playing to realize, like, half these people aren't this, like, this, you know, this assumption of people that I had for golf quickly was broken. I was like, this is not true. Why have I not been exposed to this sooner? And that was when I got the bug, like everybody else. I got addicted. I started playing all the time, wanted to get better and better. But the one thing that stuck the whole way through was this constant pressure of, like, having to fit this mold in this box so that I can be accepted into the world of golf, right? I had to talk a certain way. I had to act a certain way. I had to dress a certain way. And all of a sudden I found myself, like, completely being a different person on the course than I am in real life. And that was what threw me off. I'm like, I'm not being myself. I'm not being true to myself. And that was honestly, like, probably like the birth of, like, the initial thought of, how can we go disrupt this game in a positive way? And that was like where it's like, we got to, like, you know, give it our own vibe. And that was kind of like the birth of Vibez, right? The Vibez Golf Club, where it's like, how can we take a group of individuals to go disrupt this game in such a way where no one can do anything but accept it? Like that's the beauty of Vibez Golf Club, is that because we've all been boys for over a decade, that when we go onto a golf course, we're ourselves, and people just see that energy. And honestly, like, once we're out there having a good time, it's hard for someone to push you away, because it's like, we're out there respecting the golf course. We're out there having a good time. We're respecting the rules. We're just playing the game in what we think is comfortable and what makes us feel like ourselves, and we just go do it.
Melvin, I want to hear your origin story, I guess, with golf.
Yeah. My first time was with my best friend in high school. And like Noah said, the story that, hey, you gotta wear a polo on the golf course. I was like, what? And yeah, you need khakis. I was like, what? Like, I can't just, you feel me? And they was like, well, that's how you do it. So I was like, all right. And I hate polos. Like, I hate polos. They're cringe to me. I mean, I hate them. Like, I don't wear them. If you see me in a polo, I'm forced to be in it. Just know that. But yeah, we were doing that, and then it was so boring. Like, we was playing with his papa, and no music, no cigars. Now, granted, I was still in high school, so we couldn't drink and all that stuff. But still, though, the music would have got me through. I played like 6 holes, and I was like, bro, I'm over this. Like, I'll probably never golf again. Like, and I didn't until Noah kind of brought this up to me, and I was like, bro, I'm done. You mentioned the Monty thing. Like, I don't even think I took a swing there. Like, then that's all off that first experience. I was just done with it. Like, I'm just like, man, this is not for me. My first experience with golf was trash. No music, no cigars, no alcohol, no vibes. I was just out there just missing, and I was swiping everything. I was like, nah, this ain't it right here. So, I'm kind of glad that we doing this, man, because I mean, it's probably a lot of people that probably was in my position that probably just look at the game of golf in such a disappointing way because of a bad first experience, being forced to wear something, and the vibes really not hitting how they supposed to.
I really, when I was looking at the website, I love the fact that you put in, anyone could do it as long as you respect the rules. I think what's special about golf is that really, like, I want to wear a t-shirt. I still wear a polo because that's what's assumed to wear. So listen, I'm all aboard because I want shorts. I want Lululemon shorts. I want sandals and a t-shirt, right? Like, that's my jam. Calvin Harris radio, Coors Lights, cigars, and literally I stink. So I love playing. Like, I just want to swing and just enjoy the people around me. That's my vibe in, like, my golf. But I love that you say respect the rules because I think that's important in any sport. But I think golf, it's a little bit different, right? Like, you have to respect the game and kind of what's going on in your, I don't say in your lane, in like the way that you can enjoy it, but still enjoying the game because the game has all these different weird rules. What's that like? And what was that part? Like, who was like, we need to put that in? Because I thought that was special.
So for me, that was very important. And I mean, I think all the guys in the team would echo this, that we are doing something unique right now. And the fact that we are at the stage that we're at and the amount of time that we've been able to do it is really exciting. But at the same time, I think we all carry this anxiety in the back of our minds where it's like, we can't mess up, right? Because let's be real. There's probably a lot of people out there looking at us like they just don't like what we're doing. Golf is a very protected game, and there's people out there that are probably like, those guys, like, we got to be careful what they're doing, yada, yada, right? And for me, I remind these guys, it's like, we can't mess up. We can't be pointed at and say, like, you can't play golf that way because look at what they did, right? And for us, we care about that because, like, respecting the rules is a big piece to this because that's an easy thing to point at. It's like, well, those guys aren't even golfing. They're out there just drinking and doing whatever. They're not even golfing, but it's like, no, we are golfing. And that's one of the funny things that even a lot of guys on the team, when they started, they didn't know all the rules of golf. And so even trying to teach them, the guys on the team, like the rules of golf, at first was a little frustrating to them, right? But then over time, they learned to appreciate why they exist, right? Because it's like, well, I can beat you in our friendly matches, but what happens when we got to compete with somebody else that really does golf? Like, I got to be able to hold my own and know the rules, right? Because that's the realm that we're in now. Like, the day that we stepped up and played with Justin Simmons and the Broncos and they destroyed us, I think that was the reality when something set in for our guys, especially Mel. Like, Mel realized at that moment, like, beating the other guys on the Vibez team is one thing. But when you're competing against someone else and someone else that you respect and you got a lot of love for, and they're talking trash to you and you can't back it up, that hurts. So what do you got to do? You got to go learn the rules. You got to learn how to play and how to play it so that you can actually compete. And so that for us is like, you bring all that stuff together, and that's what makes this exciting because now the guys on the team, Mel, and we've talked about this a few times now, Mel actually has like a ranking board of the Vibez Golf Club team. I don't know if he's going to share it. Some of the guys are a little sour about it, but Mel literally ranks the team on the best and the worst. And it's kind of funny because now guys are like, the only way I can rank up is to actually be able to compete. And so guys are really starting to take it serious, and that's what makes it fun. It makes it exciting.
Melvin, can you share who's at least the top one or two?
Darius, Fisher, and Tanner are the top two.
Interesting. Okay. Did those guys start at a young age, or they just kind of started with you guys?
No. They've been playing before we started. It was crazy how Feaster, how he even came on, but we didn't even know that Feaster knew how to golf. We go out there with him, he's sending them jokers. I was like, God, dog. And then we kind of knew Tanner's gotten a lot better since we started this. But yeah, those two are the top guys. Then No Way come in at 3. I'm gonna take that spot soon though.
Yeah, no. That's
I love it. Just gotta back it up. Just a little bit of trash talk. You gotta back it up. Sorry, no, wait, go for it.
I did want to say comment there because I when you guys chat with the guys later, I think this would be something funny that one of the things we always talk about and joke about is that Feast is by far the best player on our team right now, right? And we always joke that Feast woke up to Vibez because Feast, like originally when we had put this thing together, it was like the 9 of us. Feast was just, he wasn't a part of it from the beginning, and we had an event out in LA. And we were out in LA and we were doing a shoot, but like a lot of people were like, why are you guys all together in the same place? Right. Like we hadn't announced Vibez Golf Club yet to anybody, to even our friends. And so Feast came out and hung out with us because Feast has always been a very close friend to all of us. Like that's when he's been a part of the group. Right. But Feast is a little bit older. So he was never really like doing a lot of the current stuff that we were doing. And so he comes out and we're all hanging out with Feaster. That next morning, we're all frantic, getting dressed to go to this golf course. And Feast is like, just looking around, like, what are you guys doing? And like, we were kind of just like, no one wanted to say anything because we didn't want to tell anybody what we were doing yet. We wanted to do the big announcement. And then finally somebody broke and we're like, well, we're going to go play golf. And that's when Feast was like, golf? Like, you guys golf? Like, who golfs? Like, it was just hilarious. And so he's like, can I join and can I play with you guys? And at first we're like kind of like, all right, let's figure out how we can get them on the course. So we call the golf course. They allowed us to run one group of 5. We get out there. This man Feaster is wearing jean shorts. I kid you not. We got footage of this. Charger dry fit just destroyed everybody. Went absolutely crazy. And then he seems obnoxious. After that, like when he found out, we started doing our events, and he was at all of our events just showing love out of just straight up support. And then like it was like 6 months later, we voted like we got to get Feast to officially be part of the team, and he joined the team, and we've never looked back. Like, but it's just funny. Feast woke up to Vibez. It was the greatest thing.
Ridiculous.
Jean shorts on the golf course is very unique.
Oh, for all of us, it's unique and just wearing in your everyday life. Like, outfit he had on was crazy. It was crazy. Oh man,
I love that story. It's so cool how these things come together. But I want to jump into like how your team, Noe, Melvin, the other guys, like you guys are in the business school, Noe, with some people, but like, how does that come to be? Like, how do you listen, Melvin, you overlap with dudes who aren't football players, right? And they are part of your circle. But no way, you have like this special relationship with these guys who are all football players, which to me is a little bit unique. So I would love for you to jump into like how you guys met and how you stayed strong friends, and now you own a business together. Like, to me, that's awesome. I love it. So please go for it.
So, and this all goes back. So, it goes back to the business school, right? The University of Wisconsin Business School. When I was there, I was a student. Not only was I a student in the B school, but I also had I always said I had the coolest student job. Like, I actually got to work in the B school, and in one of my classes, I got partnered up with Desmond Southward. Desmond Southward got put into one of my group projects, and as soon as that happened, I was like, oh man. I was like, the football guys got their stories, and so I was like, this guy, not only is he like our defensive captain at the time, I'm like, he's like about a year and a half out, like there's no way he's gonna want to do anything, right? And so me, him, and our other partner, we like set up to like meet in the business school one night for like our project, and our other teammate, she got sick, so it was just me and Des, and like me and Des just hit it off. Like it's just like it was that similar, like we had similar paths to where we were at, right? Like, like obviously he's playing football, but I'm like, you know, when we grew up, the things that we had to go through to end up at a university, like it was just kind of cool to go back and forth. And so me and him got along very well. And it was like within a matter of like, by the time that class was over, me and him were like really, really good friends. And at that time, he was very close with Monty, James White, and those boys, and Isaiah Williams, who was a receiver at Wisconsin. And so I was constantly hanging out with those guys. It was just like, at first I was just like around those guys. And because they were older, like Mel was around. So we have some funny photos from back in the day where like Mel was like a sophomore. We're all taking photos together. And that was it. Like, that's how I got tied in with that group. And all of a sudden I became like a part of that group and never touched the football field. Right. And then it became even stronger because when Tanner was transferring to Wisconsin, Dez was his host. So me, Dez, and Isaiah, we took Tanner out through the city. We showed him, like, whatever. We like to say we're the reasons we convinced him to come to Wisconsin. And when Tanner got out there, me and him were hanging out all the time. We ended up living together my last year in college, I lived with them. And through that, I just became a part of this group where I was just like, it was the football guys and No Way. And it was just like hilarious because these guys all were over me. Hey, when you guys talk to Austin too, ask him about mine and Austin's first interaction. That's a great story as well. But no, like that's how it happened. It was Dez that introduced me to these guys, and like I became very close to them. And we all stayed in touch after college. Like we all went different paths in life. I ended up in San Diego. Mel was out here because of the Chargers. And so then just proximity, me, him, and Kenzel were hanging out all the time here in San Diego. And through that, I got tied even closer to some of the younger guys I didn't know. Like Rob is a guy that I met, like we became closer with after college. Austin, same thing. A lot of these guys, it's just like after college, because of our relationships back to university, we just all stayed together. Then fast forward, like we'd gone on boys trips and done cool things where when it came time to like, I want to put this team together, I realized I was like, we have the team. Like we have the pieces that we need to go get this thing off the ground. And the one thing that this team has that is going to make us really dangerous is that organic chemistry. Like the boys just get along. Like it can be whatever we're doing. The energy's there, the trash talking's there, the camaraderie's there. And it's just like, I was like, this is what you need to be able to just like bulldoze into this world. And we put a meeting together one time. Actually, Dare and I were the ones that kind of kicked it off because Dare had posted a video of him at Topgolf, and it was just a terrible swing. And so I sent him a DM, and I was like, dude, like what are you doing? Like just joking back and forth. And then that's when he was like, that was kind of where like it sparked where I was like, hey, I got an idea. Like he was like, I'm trying to see like if there's anything in this content world. I was like, hey, how about let's get the guys together. Let's have this meeting. We put a meeting together. Booked our flights to Florida the beginning of June 2021, did our proof of concept, never looked back. And here we are.
But what was your first thought of No Way when you met him?
It was just like, he was just little. No Way was small, glasses. I mean, because we all hang around football players, and then you got all the football players, and then you got No Way. But then we just all he was always around because, you know, like he said, I didn't know that story about him and Dez. So I was tapped in on that. The crazy thing is, me and Dez used to be roommates. That's the crazy part, though, which I don't even think Noah knows. Yeah, but he was just like all the football players and then Noah. And it was just like, I mean, he just was around so much. It was just like, you know what I mean? He fit right in. And it's crazy, though, because Noah, I don't know if I even had your number saved because he said he was texting me, right? It was random how I even found out No Way was in San Diego. I don't even be on Snapchat like that. And I was sitting outside of the mall. I was bored. I was like, no, I'm just going through my phone on Snapchat. And then I seen No Way. I don't even know how we got added on there. And then I was like, hey, No Way, you in San Diego? And he was like, bro, I've been telling you that for like 2 months. I'm like, bro, I didn't see it, bro, but let's kick it. And then we just literally hung out like for my whole time in San Diego. We went bowling. We kicked it the whole time. So we got super close. And then, you know, this idea came about. Me, him, and Kenzel went to like a golfing range one time. I still was slicing that joker. Nothing has changed. In like 8 years, nothing has changed. But that's kind of how he came up with this idea, kicked it off, and we already had the relationship to where we all trust each other. So that's just kind of how it worked. But yeah, No Way just he found a way to he never really made anybody mad but Austin, I think. But I mean, he just fit right in, man.
Wait, but Melvin, when he came to you, because Noah, you said that you and Dare kind of were kicking around this idea. Melvin, what's it like when they come to you and you're like, let's bring golf to the masses? And your first experience wasn't a good one. So what's it like when they're like, hey, let's disrupt this game in a sport that you're like, I don't know if I really care about it?
To be honest, I don't think like I was always down with the vision that Noah had, because I think he's seen the vision and seen how everything was playing out before we all could, you know, and that's probably from our bad experiences, so we probably couldn't get past that. And he just kind of made it like, and I was already in a position I was just like, man, I want to kind of help my friends. My friends got some ideas, I want to roll with it. So I was just like, I really can't see the vision fully. And I can now, but I couldn't really see it fully. But I was just like, you know what? Like, I trust that he knows what he's doing, and here we are, man. I mean, the whole idea behind this is crazy, but you know what I'm saying? I just was like, you know what? Let's go. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? And now here we are, and it's just changed my whole outlook on golf, because I did not have a great experience, man. Not at all.
Well, Melvin, what's your relationship like with the game of golf today?
Man, I look at it now from like, I mean, so I still stink. Let's not. I don't want y'all to go out there with me and think I'm Tiger Woods or anything like that. Okay, but we had I think once I started taking it like super serious, as far as like, cause I like to go out there and have a good time. I'm one of the guys that's gonna vibe. You know, I'm gonna talk trash even though I'm not good. I'm gonna get some good putts in. I'm that guy, right? I'm that guy. But we played with Justin Simmons, and when I say it was one of the most humbling experiences, you would have thought I lost the Super Bowl. I was so like, I was sitting in the room and I'm just like, no way, bro. Like, we got embarrassed out here today, like. And I was just like, man, because I talked so much trash, and I hit a couple chip shots. I was playing on my tail for what I could do, right? And it was just so bad. So I was just like, you know what? I need to get good at golf, because, you know, we trying to build something special. And when people ask for us to come, they want to, you know, not only can I bring the vibes, but I can also play well. And I like to talk trash. Like, I love to talk trash. Like, I probably curse the most on the videos, and they have to. I talk a lot of trash. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you can't really talk trash if you can't talk trash all the time if you can't back it up. You know what I mean? So now I look at golf as just like another competitive a thing for me to do, to talk trash and to be good at. I'm getting lessons now. Like, I'm looking at it completely different. I would have never went and got lessons. Like, no, but like, it's so much more than just hitting the ball. It's just, I mean, the people you meet through this, the vibes, like I said, I mean, I go out there, I got a jukebox with me. I can't golf without the music. I need the music. And, you know what I mean? And it's just so much fun that you have with it that I think people miss out on. Cause I didn't know golf was as fun as, like, I didn't know that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't think it was fun. It's fun to me now, going out there with your guys, your buddies. You haven't seen them in a while. You catching up. You know what I mean? It's good conversations, man. You just kicking it like Chan, man. And it's a good time, man. My whole output and look on golf is just changed completely.
So let me ask you, what do you think is one of the biggest obstacles that Vibez faces? Is it getting? I'll let you guys answer that, because I could just assume, but I would love to hear what you guys think is the biggest obstacle today about what your company's trying to do.
Well, I think, I mean, it's going to be a lot of obstacles, but like you said, the way we go out there, the way we play, the way we vibe is probably uneasy to a lot of people. And we went and we played with Keenan, and we just pulled up to the little range before you go out there, you get your little shots off. And I was out there with a blue shirt, some shorts, and I had like my chain on, my VGC hat. And people was just looking at me, like, just staring at me, and it was just like, okay, Like I know, like we knew that would be a problem. It's just different. No one's used to someone going out there with a chain on, a fitted hat, shades on. It's just like I don't even know what type of shirt I had on, but it was it was nice. It felt good, but I just looked different than everybody else that was there, and I was just like, man, I know it's gonna be that's gonna be the part that we're gonna struggle with, I think, but it's okay. It might. Some people might not accept it. Some people will. But, that's just part of what we're trying to do and bring to that game. Just someone just being you, going out there wearing what's comfortable, being respectful. Now, you just can't go out there with a nothing like that. Now we getting out of control. But if we get out of control, you go out there with a on like you've been lifting with Debo.
I get lifted with Debo.
We're not gonna get out of control here, but you get where we try to go.
So, no, you've told me this before, but I would love to hear, like, what are your biggest successes to date, and what are you so thrilled to share with, everyone who's listening today about Vibez?
I think, there's a lot. There's a lot of cool stuff that we've done over the last year and a half that is just exciting to look at. From the cool stuff that we've been able to do at tournaments, like with our own tournaments. I'm not gonna lie, when we had our last tournament in Wisconsin, last July, there's so much planning that goes into this, right? And I think a lot of people don't appreciate all the work that goes into putting together an event like that. And the fact that we're doing that with us 10 who this is the first time we're doing things like this, and to be able to go achieve what we did with that tournament was so exciting. And even the weather was against us that day. The morning we got out there, it's raining, and we're just of all days, every day we were there during the week, sunny morning of just raining. But the thing that just was so awesome, and I'll never forget this. Me, Melvin, and Dare were sitting in the car, and it's just pouring rain. We were delaying everything, trying to figure out what we're gonna do. And I looked at both of them. I was like, hey, look at all the people that are still showing up. Everybody came. No one backed out. And I was like, everybody's here. I was like, we got to go make this thing happen. And it was kind of one of those moments where we all just looked at each other and were like, let's go make it happen. Because it just how it worked out at the end was it rained and then it cleared up and it was beautiful. And I was like, we literally battled the storm, right, to keep this thing going. But everybody had a blast. Everybody who left that day, the end clips of the round went into a playoff and all the energy with everyone surrounding the green, this energy you couldn't, it just can't, it was just amazing. And that moment right there felt great because to this day, anytime things get tough, right? Because let's just be real, that running a business is not sunshine and rainbows all the time. Half the time when we're on calls, we're talking about this is stuff that we got to go execute on, right? But every time when things get a little rocky, I think back to that day because I'm that day was tough, but at the end of it, we powered through as a team, and we were able to put on an event like that people to this day still talk about and reach out to us when is it coming back? We'll be back out in Wisconsin later this year, but that moment to me, I look back to that so often because I'm sometimes. These things, you got to power through some things. And I'm just hey, we were able to do that. We can go do anything now. Right. And then, like I said, there's a list of achievements that we've done. It's just there's just so many. But for me, that one was important because the team had to come together to make that happen. We had to be hey, we have to go make this thing. We got to go make this event one that these guys would talk about forever. And we did. And I'm so proud of that.
The passion of just you guys talking about this is so exciting. I love to see it. Melvin, what was something one accomplishment that stands out to you?
I've had a couple moments where I just nodded my head and was bro, we did this. But one of the biggest moments for me was actually at an event that I wasn't at. It was the Denver event that I think we did at Top Golf with the kids. And the reason it was so big is because we got an email, and it was just just the people telling us how thankful they were that the kids got the opportunity to go to Top Golf. And it was just like they drive by there all the time wishing, hey, I wish we could go there, but people just aren't fortunate enough to got the money to be able to do that, and we made that happen for those kids. And it was just, it kind of brought me back to like when I was a kid, because I would always see, I loved cartoons as a kid, and I always wanted to go to Disney World. I always asked my parents, can I go to Disney World? Can I go to Disney World? And we just didn't have enough to get it done. And it just brought me back to that moment, like, man, like, you just be so comfortable in your element that you tend to forget the little things like that as a kid, when you were a kid, when you wanted to do things and couldn't. And, for us to be in a position to bring that to life for some of those kids was huge, because, I didn't have that. I didn't have no one to help bring that to life for me as a kid, to go to somewhere that I wanted to go to. And I was just like, dang, man, like, it just brought me back. I'm like, man, that's lit right there. I'm like, that's lit. Because I never looked at it from that aspect, I just feel like everybody go to Top Golf, but that's not the case. And that just kind of just brought me back. I'm like, though, that's lit right there. I wish I was there for it, but it was lit.
Listen, that is to me is really cool. I mean, you're literally bringing something that kids look at and go, I'm never going to go there. Like, there's no reason. I don't understand it. And you don't even have to be there. As long as they're just happy. Like, these kids are happy, man, just hitting golf balls. I've been to Top Golf, and I love it there. So, and I'm a 40-year-old man. Imagine if I was 10, I would love it more.
Love it. It'd be your Disney World. You feel me? Like,
dude, it is my Disney World. Actually, my wife had my 39th birthday there.
Oh, that's great.
You're eating, you're drinking, and literally, I was awesome with the women's clubs. I have no idea why. I was just swinging it in the holes every time. So listen, that's my vibe. I'm good. I was good. I'm like, and no one make fun of me or not. I don't care. I was swinging well. But I like these deep stories. Like, this is what I think is so special about what you guys are doing. And I love that we could have, you guys on there. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything special about Vibez before we kind of jump into, I know we're running out of time, and you can see behind Melvin, it's getting dark back there. It's almost 10 o'clock here, but I want to make sure we hit everything.
Well, one thing I want to ask them is, what are your personal goals for Vibez? Like, Vibez will be, Vibez is a true accomplishment if blank happens. And I guess I'll start with Noe there.
I'm going to stick to what I said to the guys back a year and a half ago when we were launching this. Vibez will be a success if we are, like, I don't know, 10 years down the road, 10 years down the road, you're seeing someone that looks like Melvin, or looks like Rob, or looks like, like Kinzel with, dreads, walking off onto, like, to tee off at, like, one of these big tournaments, whether it's like the Players, the Masters, or something like that. Like, when you see someone like that, that's carrying that vibe, that's carrying that vibe from where they grew up and who they truly are, and aren't trying to fit this mold, like, they're just being themselves and they're competing at that level, that's when we've made it, right? Because there's layers to this, right? Like, a lot of people always like to point out, was like, well, there's already minorities playing golf and things like that. But I'm like, they're not really, like, that's not like somebody that went to my high school, right? Like, that energy, that vibe. And if you could have someone walking up there with that type of swagger, that type of energy, that's just themselves, not clean cut. They're just like, hey, I'm out here to compete, be myself, have a good time. That's when we've done it, right? And it's not just going to be Vibez that makes it happen. Like, that's why I say this is a movement. I've said it time and time again. It's not just us that will do this. It's going to be a collective group. And you're starting to see awesome companies pop up left and right that have this drive and hunger to do that. I'm like, collectively, the whole game of golf has to change. It's got to be hit from different angles. We're hitting it from one angle. Others will hit it from others. But, like, ultimately, Vibez will be a success when we can be proud and confident, like, hey, we played a role in that. We helped make that happen.
So for me, it's kind of in the same ballpark. For me, Vibez will be a hit if, so my birthday is in April, around the Masters all the time. So, around my birthday, I always hear a lot about the Masters, this and that. And I just was always like, you know what, I'm speaking in the Masters specifically. Someone walking up there, I don't care if you got dreads, I don't care if you got a mullet, I don't care if you got a big afro, I don't care if you're black, blue, yellow, I don't care what you are. if you walk up there and you win the Masters and you have a Vibes hat on, that's something I can sit back and I want to smile at. That's when I'll feel like, okay, we here, we in the building. It's just that's for me, because like I said, that my birthday's in April, the Masters, I always, as a kid, I always heard about the Masters for some reason. I used to go to sleep with golf on the TV. I don't know. That's weird. But that would be the hit for me, man. Like I said, I don't care who go up there. If you represent the Vibes, anything, the logo on you, and they just like, they feel we dope enough to go up there and wear that in front of millions of people after a great accomplishment that they've made, that'll be lit, man. That'll mean everything to me. I'll be watching the PGA Tour stuff events sometimes, and I see the people with the gear on. I'm just like, dang, dude, like there's people's out there wearing some Vibes gear, like that's lit right there. So that'll be it for me.
And it literally could be that kid who picked up a golf club at Top Golf. Like it could be, because you're bringing it to the masses, right? Like, and I would agree with you guys. 20 years ago when I picked up a club, or 22 years ago at this point, it was for a small group. At least that's what I thought too. And now it can be anybody, which opens up the pool of just good golfers, which is exciting. And I think that's really special, is giving that opportunity to people who literally look at golf, or don't even look at it and say, I can't be that because I'm not that. And you guys are literally saying, no, come play. You can be that. You are that. Whatever way you want to be it, you're just that. So I think I love that. Like, I think, and that's what sports does for like this world, is bring people together. And Melvin, you and I can attest to, you're in the locker room, like you guys are just brothers.
Yes.
And no way, there are guys who come in and are that too. And Matt Perkins is now my brother, who I've met only one time. But I've seen him on, what is this, our 125th episode or something like that, or it's somewhere bananas. But
together, this is our 102nd episode.
So, I didn't go to the B school.
Had the extra outfit, you didn't sound sweeter.
That's
that.
See, that's like, at least I shoot 102. So actually, this is perfect. I'm like right there.
I'm lucky to get to 102.
So listen, I know we have a limited amount of time, and I'm in the 90s somewhere. Well, I would love to know. No way, Mel. What's your best round ever?
I don't even.
My best round ever. I'm looking at it right here. Oh, go ahead, Mel.
No, I'm just gonna say that's my man. Like, not keeping score. That's my thing. Like, let's do that. I'm here for that all day. Not keeping score.
Score.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. And now you guys know why I love when Mel says I'm coming for that third place spot. You gotta start keeping score. It's so. But for me, it's like, I'm looking at it right now. The best round I've ever shot to this point was I shot a 90 even. And I am one swing away, figuring out my driver, one swing away from being able to shave off like 5 to 6 strokes off my game. So I'm telling you, like, I tell people all the time, hey, if we're playing a scramble, we're going to do all right, because I got us after the drive. That driving, it makes it tough on me right now. But right now, best round I've ever shot was a 90.
Where can people find out more about Vibez Golf and get some of that really excellent merch that you have?
VibezGolfClub.com. That's where we're at. And right now we're in the middle of revamping some things on our side. Now that, like I said, we're in a good place. So we're starting to invest a little bit more internally here, and we'll start to see some new stuff. So Melvin and Dare have been coming up with some new ideas on the merch side. So that'll be coming soon. So VibezGolfClub.com, and then just check out our Instagram and our socials. That's really where we like to post a lot of our stuff, and you'll go see us in action, right? You'll see the trash talking live and in play, and you'll go see those 1 or 2 putts that Mel's been talking about that he's hit. You'll go see those on there as well.
I got a good putt game, fellas. Early.
I love it. Before we jump into a little bit of football, any best course in Madison you guys like to play?
I didn't really play too often in Madison outside of the one that we did.
I'm going to say, Probably, I mean, same as Mel. Like, we haven't played too much in Madison. Love the Glen just because now we have this connection to it because of our tournament. But honestly, in Wisconsin, the Sand Valley courses, if anybody ever has a chance to play the Sand Valley courses, man, those courses were just beautiful, amazing, such a good time.
It's so far in Wisconsin, I tend to forget we're in Wisconsin. It's so deep in that joker. But yeah, Sand Valley was lit.
Well, we'll have to get you out to a couple random courses. I don't know. Just like Madison, that's where I grew up golfing, was in college. I don't know why I had like $0, but they somehow are like, you could come out here for like 20 or 40 bucks. And we're like, all right, that sounds pretty good. Go to the Bridges, and the University Ridge with the student ID was like 10, 15 bucks. Now it's like 90, 100 bucks for an adult who's, and I suck so bad, I don't want to play there. I only play like when it's, you come back for like Legends or anything.
Melvin, we have a limited amount of time, so I'm going to start with your official visit.
Mm-hmm.
When you come to Madison for your official visit, who is your host, and walk us through your official visit?
God, dog, I can't remember. I don't know if my host was Vanessa. I can't remember who my host was, but it was a good time. I mean, it wasn't too crazy. I think I was still committed to. I was still committed to Iowa at that point. I had a camp with Wisconsin, and I thought they wanted me to play DB. And I was like, I'm not going to a Division I school where I'm playing a position I've never played before. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going here. But they were my first offer, so you get that first scholarship, you get that first opportunity. You never really forget that school, and it was Wisconsin. I went there and destroyed the camp. I destroyed it. Yeah, me and Trey playing DB. I was like, nah, I'm cool. I'm gonna go to Iowa. So I committed to Iowa. I went to the O State game there, and they had lost, and it was just not good. The atmosphere wasn't good, which makes no sense because Iowa got like when I went there, it was one of the craziest atmospheres. So I don't know what I was thinking, but I didn't enjoy it. And I went to the Wisconsin the next week. I went to the Wisconsin-Ohio State game where they rushed the Wisconsin line, rushed the field, and then that was my official. And then I went and talked to Coach B, and I was like, hey, like, the reason I didn't commit here is because I think he want me to play DB, and I'm not playing DB. Like, I wish I played DB now. How much money they making, but I was just like, nah, I'm not playing DB. And he's like, hey, I promise you gonna play running back. Like, you're from Wisconsin, you were born here. Like, people are gonna know you before you even make a play. People are gonna know who you are. And he was just like, you got my word. It was the same with John Clay. He thought I wanted to play. He thought he was gonna play linebacker. He gave me his word. I committed, and I kid you not, before I even made a play, people was like, what's up, Melvin? It was new to me, Wisconsin, like, just where I'm from, you don't get like crazy love like that where people outside kind of know you. So that was kind of just like the start to that.
What was Coach B like? Because to me, he was like a that guy, right? Like, he'd give you your word, and you could trust it. But he was a little wackaloon. But I would love to hear, like, in your eyes, what he was to you.
He was cool, man. He was a different style coach, and my high school coach was pretty, he was pretty aggressive, and it was cool though. But Coach B was, we had some times where I got cussed out as a freshman, not knowing what I was doing, and the one thing that used to irritate me with Coach B though, he would talk to you and he would have a conversation with you. And as you were talking, when you talk to someone, you kind of like look away and then look back. So like, he just consistently did it. You'll talk to him, you'll like look away and look back, and he'll be gone mid-conversation. Every time. He used to piss me off with that. But outside of that, he was cool. But that pissed me off. You'd be mid-conversation, he'll be going there asking if you're all right. You'll give your story. He don't even care about your story. He'd be like, okay, you practicing? It's really like, are you practicing or not? And if it is, he didn't want to hear all that extra stuff. He was literally walk off. It was
interesting. So, Mel, you show up on campus. Like, what's it like to come, leave your city, come to school, be on campus, be working out, you're going to school. Like, what's that all like for you?
It was different, man. It's so many meetings, and then you have to mix that with football, and it was tough, with the classes, and then you got the tutoring sessions, and it was mandatory tutoring sessions and mandatory study table, and it was just like, man, it's a lot. You got class checkers, like what? So it was just a lot going on, man. And my coach was just like, I had anxiety every day because my coach was like, yeah, if you miss the class checker and late to class, you'll be running early. I'm gonna make you do up downs till you throw up. And I was just like, okay. So now I'm dealing with that anxiety on top of trying to be great, right? It was a lot. It was a lot you deal with as a youngin' going into that Joker.
I feel like everyone's story is similar. Class checkers, don't miss them. Then it becomes, who was the weight trainer? Was it Herb's?
Herb, yeah.
So then it becomes Herb's problem, and that's the last man you want to see outside of weight training, when it's punishment time.
Oh yeah, and the thing about Herb though is, if you're late to the lift, he'll pull up a chair. He'll pull up a chair and have the person so let's say I'm late. I got to pull up a chair. He'll sit me in the chair, give me a Gatorade, tell me to drink it, and then he'll put an older guy on the Stairmaster for like an hour and make him go up, and you have to sit there and watch him. And then now you got the whole upperclassman ready to kill you. So it's just like, he does stuff like that. So you didn't want to be late to lifts either. Like, it was just strict, man.
You're bringing back all these scary memories.
Yeah.
I know we're running out of time, but dude, I gotta ask. One of the coolest things I think I've ever seen was your game against Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't even have words for it. Dude, you were just special. What? Now, special in your career, but special that night. What's it like to run for 406 yards in a night? I can hardly do that right now, but literally.
It's crazy, man, because my red shirt, I want to say sophomore year, when it was me and James, I was like, man, I can't even it's so hard to get 200 yards. I'm struggling getting 100 yards. I was like, God, dog, I was getting like 130. Sometimes I get 140, 170. I was like, man, I cannot get 200 yards to save my life. It is too hard. And then the next year, I'm just 200, 250, 400. I was like, this is crazy. Like, it was just so crazy, man. That game was just, it meant a lot because we played Western Illinois that year, and Mir Abdullah, and I mean the whole team, like, they weren't even playing sound football on Western Illinois. They literally, like, our receivers had the biggest game of their life. Like, they were like, we're stopping Melvin, and we don't care what we do. So I didn't play that well, and I had like 35 yards. And then the commentators on the Big Ten Network, I think, they were just like, Melvin Gordon doesn't even need to be mentioned in the same sentence as Amir Abdullah. I was like, okay. I got you. So I had that game circled. I was like, I'm going to get them boys what I got this game, because I need to let them know, because I didn't forget that. And then I was talking to a little chick from Indiana. She was up there, so that, I was really feeling like that dude. You know what I'm saying? I was really feeling like that dude, man. That day was electric, man. To have 85,000 fans chanting your name, like, it was just unreal. It was probably even bigger for my mom and my people and my parents, man. It just, it really didn't even soak in that day, honestly. But
85,000 in the stands. I was screaming from New York. You had hundreds of thousands of alumni across the world probably jumping up and down in their chairs. Like, I'm just so excited because I feel like, and I didn't have anything to do with this, but as a running back who played at Wisconsin, literally the pride that we all have for, like, you guys, and then now the dudes who are doing it, and Braylon and Ches, like, you're like, man, these guys are my guys. And I literally have never met them. I'm just so excited and proud of them. And that's what I was for you. I was like, man, this dude is so good. Like, I could miss 3 blocks and you'd still score a touchdown.
It was just everything just falling that night, man. And it's crazy because, I wonder where that pride comes from. You know what I mean? Is it just like from where we from, but it's like the whole campus is like that. Everybody's so prideful. I can't even touch like where another college. logo, nothing. I don't like to put nothing on from another college. Like seriously, like it's Wisconsin down. Like you feel what I'm saying? Like it is mad. My whole house is red right now. It's ridiculous. I got a Barry Alvarez, a picture with me and him up there. I got my Wisconsin. I wish I could show you. I got my Wisconsin jersey upstairs on the man. I love my Badgers. I don't care. If you from Wisconsin, I love you. Like it's just from Wisconsin, you went to. Don't let you say you went to Madison. Like we could talk all day.
My mother-in-law, my wife's mom, who's probably listening. Hi, Carrie. She was like, "Do you want this football?" And I'm like, "I got a bunch of football." She's like, "It was signed by Ron Dane." I'm like, "Yeah, I definitely want it." And my wife's like, "This is the third football of Ron Dane that you have signed. Like, you know him. Why do you need another football?" And I'm like, that makes sense, I guess. But it doesn't, like, to me, it doesn't make sense. I just want to collect all this memorabilia because I didn't play with Ron, but Ron walked into the locker room during a game and was like, "Yo, Burn, you're killing it." And I was like, "What?"
Stop.
Ron Dane's in here. You know, like, I don't even know if I heard what he said. I was so happy to see him. But I think that's what it is. It's like, I think it's special in Wisconsin. But Melvin, you played on a bunch of, obviously, a bunch of really good NFL teams. Is it the same type of, like, chip on your shoulder? What's your experience been like in the NFL? Like, you've had a super awesome career.
Yeah. Man, it's different. It wasn't too different when I got with the Chargers, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that was a different locker room, probably one of the most different, because it wasn't like a lot of, married guys. When I went to Denver, a lot of guys were married, and guys after a long day of work, guys gotta get back to their wife and kids. It just is what it is. You can't get mad. They got a family, And when I got there, when I was with the Chargers, it was a lot of young guys. So we all stayed in the locker room extra. We kicked it with Gates. Gates kind of brought all of us in, and it was just, man, it was a good time. My time with the Chargers probably was the best years of my time in the league. And it was just, man, people was like, man, it's not gonna be like that. The bond, because the bond you share in the locker room in college is, it doesn't even compare to where you go or what you do. There's nothing like it. But being in that Chargers locker room was probably as close to it. And then Denver was pretty good too. I saw all the other stuff, but the locker room was pretty solid. We just didn't stay in after hours and just bond and stuff. And then we came there around COVID, so we really couldn't connect outside as much as we would like to. So that kind of, diminished our, my time there a little bit. The COVID stuff, crazy, but it's definitely a difference, bro.
Who's the best fullback to block for you?
Watt, for sure. That's my brother, man. Me and Watt it's just so crazy. Like, I was so happy when they picked up Watt, because we just kind of know, like, and it was like other running backs, and I didn't really experience that because I had Watt. Pretty much I went without Watt 1 year, and then I had Watt in my, the most of the time at, with the Chargers. But we were just connected so well. Like, I knew how he would block things. He knew how I seen things, and that makes a difference. Like, you have to be on the same page as your fullback. And we were just in sync. Like, I remember one time where they just put on film, like, our steps out the backfield where it was like in sync, like we practiced it. Like, it was just, that's my brother, man. Like, and I wish I had him, still blocking for me, because, he was so special. And I was there though for his first touchdown, and we did a little dog celebration where I was holding him back. So I got some memories with my dog, man. I love that boy.
Listen, I could end there. I feel like I could cry, and I'm like just so happy at the same time. Listen, guys, I really appreciate this. No way, Melvin, sharing the time. I absolutely love the mission and what you guys are trying to accomplish with a game that I truly, at 40, love. Like, I just got my first pair of golf shoes at 40. So I think we're all kind of like, this is something cool. I don't want to wear golf shoes. They're not very comfortable. But neither here nor there. I think what you guys are doing is special. Melvin, I've been a fan of yours my entire life. No way, I'm a huge fan now. And I'm just thrilled, if I can help or we can help in any way, man, we're here for you. And we really appreciate you guys coming out.
Hey, appreciate you having us, Steve. Know that.
With that, we are going to say good night for here from a part one of our 4-part special here with our friends from Vibez Golf Club. Make sure you're at vibezgolfclub.com, checking out that sweet merch, helping out with the mission. They're going to be all over the place this summer at PGA Tour events, doing a lot of stuff. And Bernie and I are here to spread the word. We are here to spread the word, support our fellow Badgers. We hope you guys support your fellow Badgers as well. Until next time, thanks for tuning in, and on Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.